I have two cases here. I sent you guys the whole slew of what I managed to pull up right before the show, but I want to read these two cases because I want you to hear what happened in them. Turner versus Rogers, 2011, details in this United States Supreme Court case. Michael Turner, a father, was jailed for a year by a South Carolina family court judge for non-payment of child support without being provided a public defender. Turner argued that this violated his due process rights. Get this, a Supreme Court ruled the indigent parent in civil contempt proceedings for child support did not have an automatic right to counsel, but the lack of adequate procedures to determine his ability to pay violated due process. Again, evidentiary issues. Legal action. The case was a direct challenge to the family court procedures, highlighting how fathers can face incarceration without proper legal representation. While not a lawsuit against the judge itself, it exposes systemic issues in family courts that disproportionately affect fathers, particularly indigent ones. Outcome. The court vacated the contempt order, emphasizing the need for procedural safeguards. This case spurred discussions about fairness in family court enforcement actions. Relevance to the issue demonstrates how family courts can infringe on fathers' rights through lack of due process, prompting Supreme Court intervention. Due process and evidentiary standards, they just blew them right out of the water. That's Turner versus Rogers, 2011. Now, Philadelphia Judge Lyris Young case, 2017. Details. In Pennsylvania, Judge Lyris Young was accused of violating parental rights, including those of fathers, through arbitrary and biased rulings in family courts. Say it isn't so, Joe. One father was jailed for 7 days for allegedly unauthorized contact with his children, which he denied. The Superior Court later vacated the contempt decision, finding the father was given any due process at all. Attorney Jimmy Binns, seeking custody of his own grandchildren, reported Young's misconduct, describing her as unfit for the bench. Legal action. Public complaints, and a 2018 investigation by the Legal Intelligencer led to a formal review by the Pennsylvania Judicial Conduct Board. Young was suspended in June 2021 after multiple complaints about her demeanor and decisions. Outcome. Young was transferred out of family court in 2018, faced sanctions, though specific lawsuits against her were not detailed due to judicial immunity. The case highlighted systemic issues in family court fairness, including for fathers. That one right there in particular, Brandon, applies to you to a degree in that there's a lack of due process and blatant discrimination. It also indicates that if enough people start making enough noise, we can in fact get these people at least removed from the bench.
Right.
Well, the thing is if they remove the judge from the bench, then you can fucking sue the county and state for damages, especially if they throw you in jail for contempt of court.
Mm-hmm.
You were still arrested, booked, put into jail. Yeah. That you can get monetary damages for that.
Right.
We got one guy in Oregon who was put in jail for over a year so the court could sell his property to a land developer, give his ex-wife a bucket of money that was based entirely on his VA and Social Security benefits. A massive fraud. I have probably 300 documents from this guy, and if he's still alive, I would love to see him move forward.
That's sickening. God, that's so sickening.
That's the kind of stuff that has people playing tag from a distance.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Now,
well, we've mentioned before
with a cattle prod and a taser, but it's just not for everyone.
Yeah.
We've mentioned before, it's shocking that more judges have not been given a JFK haircut.
Yeah.
So
I do not encourage any such behavior, nor could I condone it should I know of it. It's just surprising.
Well, the thing, Bob, I'm sitting here and I'm going, why are we at the point now where we have to go after, because this is going to be case by case scenario with suing these judges. Yeah. That's what I said in the last segment. Where is the enforcement? It's a simple thing.
Yeah.
I don't understand that. Now we're at this point, right? So it's going to be a case by case scenario.
All right, one person talking at a time, please.
Go ahead. Sorry.
No, I just said it's going to be a case-by-case scenario, and it's like, what's the overall objective? The overall objective is enforcement.
For all of the veterans who've been through this, nobody has survived long enough to raise awareness and attention to this problem until now.
Yeah.
What you guys have done, what we have done is new and fresh. Right. Most of the veterans who've been through this are already dead.
Yep.
Right.
And they cannot speak for themselves. And the ones who are not dead are struggling. Yeah. So we are fortunate to be able to put this in the public eye and make it available so all of the veterans out there who are watching this can actually learn more about how we are working to get there. And yes, initially we're doing this as individual cases, case by case, but every single one of our cases is perfectly valid. And the question we're asking the federal courts, and we're forcing in the direction of getting to the Supreme Court, is whether state judges are bound, tied, required to obey the supreme law of the land, where it says they could not possibly touch veteran benefits ever.
Very quickly, while you're going through this, Bob, very quickly while you're going through this, I'm going to share your veteranhope.org site so people can see what you're talking about. They know who we are because you're here on our show.
Wow. It's awesome, guys. It's awesome. Bob did a great job with that.
And just because I forgot to mention, and I may have said it earlier, just yesterday, one of the veterans who was put in jail last week called me up on Thursday and told me what happened. And so just yesterday, he filed his case in the federal district court as an amended complaint in his current case at the District Court of Connecticut. And basically, we expect them to come back with an automatic rubber stamp answer. So that means we can go directly to the Second Circuit Court of Appeals. Don's case is at the Ninth Circuit Court of Appeals. And we've got another guy in the 10th Circuit. We've got one getting ready to come up in the 5th Circuit. So wherever you are in the country, this is a perfectly valid case, perfectly valid claim. Veteran benefits are exempt from state jurisdiction, and there's nothing in the law to make up for that. They commit fraud using Rose versus Rose. And if you look at the website, I have a complete explanation about how Congress changed the law after Rose, making it clear that veteran benefits are not part of that.
Tell me where that is here. Tell me where that is here.
Child support and the absurd mythology of Rose.
Okay.
Number one right there. I'm pointing at it with my finger. It's the first one on the list.
I mean, Bob breaks this down so much. I mean, it's crazy.
Here's my question. It takes fucking forever to get anything in front of the Supreme Court.
Mm-hmm.
You know, unless we can attach this to some type of dilemma that's taking place in real time, which we can, which is veteran suicide. Yeah. If we could stick those together, we can get it in front of the Supreme Court faster. Because right now, it's on the pecking board, and there will always be shit jumping in front of it that's more important.
Well, that other people think is more important. Pop, I'm going to point out something that you and I have discussed before. We don't do this to save our own skins. That battle has been fought and lost for the most part. We do this for the guys coming behind us so that the young guys coming into the pipeline who get sucked into this absolute shitstorm, they don't have to go through this. So if it takes us 4 or 5 years to get this to the Supreme Court, I'm okay with that, because if we do it, that's lives saved, and that's all I care about.
Watch Grunt Speak live every Tuesday and Thursday at 8 p.m. Eastern. And if you want to join Pop for Supporter Sundays, go to redonkulous.com/donate and make a monthly pledge. A link is in the meat caser box.